Have you ever compared yourself to anyone else? When I was about 9 years old, I remember being with my mom, and she ran into an old friend, and this old friend's name was Carol. Now, Carol and my mom were good friends, and they were asking about each other's lives and their children and what was going on in their different children's lives. Well, my little sister happened to be with us, and this gal's name that my mom was visiting with, her friend, her name was Carol. And Carol asked or commented on Sherry, my little sister, and she said, "Sherry is so cute. She's like the cutest in your family. She's just so adorable, and she's so cute." And then the conversation kind of changed, and I remember her then asking about Carolyn, my older sister. And Carolyn was valedictorian that year, graduating from high school and now off to college. And Carol made the comment that, "Man, Carolyn, she's so smart." And you know what I heard that day? I heard that day that I wasn't smart and I wasn't cute or pretty. Now, Carol didn't say this, but that's what I internalized. And it impacted me. Now, you fast forward that a few years later, and in my church group, my dear, sweet young women's advisor, she taught my class, these other girls my age, about 12, 13-year-olds, about skincare. And she started to open my eyes to skincare and makeup, and I was very fascinated with that. And she was involved with this network marketing company that sold the skincare. And somehow I convinced my mom and dad that they needed to make this investment for me, because I didn't have my own paycheck at that point, into this company. And so I sold them on that fact, so I guess I was a great salesperson even then, on getting me into this network marketing company. Well, when I went to the first course to learn about the product and understand the product and the system, it was my first professional development course, and I was probably about 13 years old. And this first course, this woman, her name was Trisha Kwai, and I will never ever forget her. She was Mrs. Utah, and she was gorgeous. She was tall, she was slender, she was dark-haired, very exotic looking. And when I heard her speak, I thought, I want to be like her. She inspired me. And then as she spoke and shared with me this system, what I learned that day and many days after that day was there was potential in me and that I had strengths. Now, that experience changed my life, and quite frankly, that's what began my path down Image, because this company, what it was, is a network marketing company for makeup and clothes and lingerie. Now, that company is no longer in business, but I got so involved, and in fact, those pivotal years, those pivotal teenage years, I ended up doing my first keynote speech when I was 16 years old to 300 of my peers in the state of Idaho. And the speech happened to be about tapping into your potential. Now, I share this all with you because this is kind of the background of who I was and what was coming for me. Now, I grew up in a large family, a very high performance family, and they were hard workers. They did multiple things. They had a family business as well as worked. My father was the superintendent of schools. My mother went back to school after raising her kids and then taught school for 20 plus years. But they also had a ranch and a farm, and so I grew up in a very small community. But I was really fortunate because this community that I grew up in, this incredible family that I was blessed to be raised in, made me realize and believed in me that nothing was impossible. So even though I was comparing myself to my siblings, they still believed and encouraged me. Now, I know that not everybody has that experience. And now fast forward a few years later, and I started to step away from what I knew that I was really passionate about, of image and helping others achieve their potential. And I kind of stepped away from it, and I fell into my fear that I started working in corporate America. But again, another turn of the page was a great blessing, because through that experience, I got to work with some incredible mentors and coaches. And in this experience of working with these different mentors and coaches, they saw in me the possibilities. And the common thread throughout my career working in corporate America was these different entities would always basically say, hey, Linda, you tell the message of our group. Hey, Linda, you share and get everybody excited. Hey, Linda, you're the promoter for us. And so, again, it tied in that image and that aspect in representing the image of the organizations. Yeah, I'd like to say that I really leaned in to working and staying in image because that was my dream, to continue to inspire others to realize their potential. But I bought into the fear that I needed to have a full-time job. And I'm grateful that I had those full-time jobs. And I had incredible mentors and coaches that saw the possibilities in me and kept giving me those opportunities to step out and be that face and that front of the company. And I learned a lot of things. Worked in several different industries. Worked in technology. Worked in a university system. Worked with a international conference group, a workshop group. Had the opportunity to speak to thousands and thousands of people and be on a stage representing others' brands, but also representing my brand, representing my image. But like I said, I didn't lean into what was possible for me. I let fear kind of rule me and guide me. And it wasn't until I started to experience a change and kind of a shift that I began to have this thought of, well, what if I could do what I always dreamed of doing? So I began to set a goal and put it out there that by a certain age, I would either have my own business or I would be making another change. So I had that goal and I had that thought. And as I was getting closer to the age, I thought, well, the only way I'm going to make this happen is if I start doing something. So what should I do? So the first thing I decided to do was to start telling people what it is that I was really passionate about. And I started having individuals come to me, executives, other senior executives, other employees, other people going and changing careers, changing transitions, professional services organizations, professionals, asking me questions. Hey, Linda, could you maybe help me with that? Hey, Linda, could you help me with that? So I kind of started to fall into it. But really, I was, again, touching the opportunity to do that. As these individuals would call me up and say, hey, could you help me with that? I thought, wow, there's a need here. But again, it was stoking that fire within me of what I knew what it was I wanted to do eventually with my life, with my career, and what my calling was, if you will. So a little coaching here, a little consulting there. Hey, Linda, I'm really struggling with what outfits to put together to go to court. Could you help me with that? You bet. So I created a package to go into individuals' closets and help them design and put the best possible them together. I knew that I wanted to impact others with some of the writing that I had done. And in fact, I started working on a book. And 18 years it took to finally get this book, and this book finally got done. And I'm really excited about the book. And I'm really touched when people say, wow, that's really helped me, and it's changed my life, and it's changed the way I interact, and it's changed the way I look at myself, and it's changed my image, and it's helped me be a better me. And those things mean so much. But again, I still wasn't releasing. I wasn't jumping off the cliff because I was scared. It wasn't until a change happened for me. Downsizing occurred. What? To me? I wasn't earning the six-figure income anymore, but I didn't have an excuse to jump off the ledge. And even other job offers were coming. But it seemed like every time I was about to accept that job and then it didn't quite feel right, then a new client would come. And boom, my business just started growing and growing and growing. And I almost bought into other limiting beliefs and not moving forward with my business. But now as I look back, I realized that I was, again, headed towards my North Star. And that was helping others realize what was possible for them, helping others realize that their image, that their personal brand is theirs alone, and they can enhance it just by little tweaks. So one of the first things I started doing is I created a blog. So I had a blog, I had a newsletter, and then I created an audio program. And through all my study, what I realized is what I like to call 15 different rays that are broadcasting out on our image. But what's fascinating about those rays is that they actually come back into us. And we are then regenerating our energy and regenerating our image. So for instance, when I put on clothes that make me feel good about me, I look good and I'm more confident and I engage and I can connect and I make a positive first impression with someone else. But guess what? I feel better about me. And so then I'm more confident and then I can engage more. And those are the things that I was learning. And I'm really grateful for that. Now, I've made mistakes in my career. And those mistakes have taught me some major, major lessons. And I'm definitely not perfect. But I've had to learn how to step up or get back up again after an image mishap. So our behavior impacts our image. The way we communicate impacts our image. But through these experiences, I've been able to build a business that is really exciting and fun to do because I can connect with others. I can help them uncover their strengths. Strengths that maybe they didn't even realize that they had, so that they can realize and tap into the possibilities that are there waiting for them to grab. In fact, one of the things that I talk about when I speak is blue sky thinking. And blue sky thinking is this, of thinking what if that were possible, and not letting others limit you. And I guess one of the reasons that I believe in this is because I've seen it for myself. Sometimes it's easier to believe it for other people than it is yourself. And I guess that's one of the things that I'm learning. In fact, friends and my business coaches have said to me, Linda, you're going to write a book about this as well. And I probably will at some point. Maybe that will be the next book. But what if? What if this is possible? So that's the question I would have for you. What is possible for you? And that's what this business has taught me, and the things that I'm learning and experiencing and wanting to share with others of what's possible for them. But I love what it is I get to do. I get to engage with business owners. I get to engage with millennials. I get to engage with people that are going through transition, or people just entering the workforce or coming back into the workforce. Men and women. I mean, initially I thought my message was for women. And I really believe that women, Girl Scouts had a study years ago that found that 92% of women don't believe that they're beautiful. 92%? And only 2% of the survey that they surveyed feel like they're confident. So I thought my message, needs to be for women. But what's been most fascinating is I have found that men want to hear the same message, because they're dealing with the things that they're dealing with, and they've had shifts that have occurred for them in their career and their relationships. So our image is always talking out to other people. It's always projecting, but it's always talking in. So these are the things that I got really passionate about. And that's why I created Linda H. Yates Coaching and Consulting Group. And that's why my tagline is, nothing is impossible. And that's why my anchor words are, uncover your strengths. Uncover, realize, and accomplish. Because those are power words. Those are possible words. It's very humbling to do what you love. And I know that you may not be experiencing that right now, but I know that I can help you figure out what that is. Or if you're in charge of a meeting, you're looking for a speaker to entertain and inspire your audience, I would be very honored to be a part of that process as well. I know what it is to have water splashed on your dreams, or the fire to go out. I know what it is involved and what's involved to kind of stoke that again. And I'm really thankful that I've tapped into those things, and I'm learning, and I'm still learning. And what's awesome about my experience is I learn from those individuals and organizations that I get the opportunity to serve and help and bring value to, because that's my goal. I mean, that's why I do this. That's what I love, and that's what I believe. I believe and know that nothing is impossible, because I've seen that in my own life. I've seen that throughout my career. I've seen that in my business. I've seen that in my relationships. I've seen that in my experience. I know tough things come, but I also know that falling down is an opportunity to get up. And when you fall down, we're taught. So that's who I am. That's who Linda Yates is. I'm an Idaho farm girl that's had the opportunity to live in Alaska and Utah and Florida, and Georgia. And again, I'm an Idaho farm girl. I've had the opportunity to speak all over the world and the country. I've had the opportunity to run in every state of the United States. I've had the opportunity to ride a horse in a rodeo and play with dogs. And I've had the opportunity to be a mother to 3 amazing children. And I had the incredible opportunity to be married to the man of my dreams. And sorry, I'm a little emotional, but that's who I am. That's who you're getting. So if you're looking for a life coach, or you're looking for a speaker, or you're looking for a trainer or business coach, I would love to have a conversation with you. But that's who Linda Yates is. But more importantly, you need to know that Linda Yates believes and knows that nothing is impossible.